My name's Tara. I'm the events manager of Deakin Writers, and I'm also one of the head editors of WORDLY magazine. We're promoting Harmony edition, and lovely Emily here has submitted a piece called The Fox and the Raven for our Harmony edition. We're going to start off with a secret silly question.
Okay.
It's very secret and very silly. So, if you were to have one superhero power, what would it be and why?
It's probably going to sound really lame considering my story, but I would turn into any animal I could.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you could just do anything you wanted. You know, you could fly, you could spy on people. It would be great.
Why not? No, I love it. What would you want to turn into?
Everything.
Everything at the same time.
You know, not at the same
Like a
time. It'd be
chimera
some
kind
kind of terrible monster.
Oh, there's Emily. When I read your piece, one of the first things I thought was that it plays out in a really traditional, kind of structured, fairy tale-like thing for most of it. Now, we're not giving anything away here for most of it. So would you place it in the fairy tale genre?
I think I would, just because it shares so many sort of key sort of structural points of you know, your traditional fairy tale or your folk tale. Obviously there are a few slight differences within there, but I would definitely put it within the genre somewhere.
Yeah. Children's lit even?
Potentially, depending on how you know, sort of nitpicky the parents are on subject matter.
Yeah, you set up. I think you set up some expectations.
Yeah, I think
Then things happen.
Yeah, a lot of the time, fairy tales these days are a lot more sort of censored than older fairy tales, which were obviously sometimes a little bit darker.
Absolutely.
So somewhere in the genre there.
Yeah, supposedly, like history, politics, whatever, it all influences art.
It does, yeah.
And I mean, especially, like, it just gets so convoluted when you think about how art influences people as well. And it's just this big wide circle.
Especially directed towards children, because it's about what you want children to learn is normal and learn what is the right way to think. And so it's very political in terms of what you teach.
Yeah. So what kind of lessons are they learning? Like,
exactly, yeah.
So what inspired you to write in this genre then?
I suppose it would mostly just be that it's something I've always sort of been drawn to. I mean, as a kid, I really loved reading these sorts of stories with my nan, and I always liked the animal fables more than, say, your princess stories or your hero stories or anything like that. And they were often the shorter stories, I often found, but they had a message, and they sort of had characters that you couldn't quite relate to, but you could really observe.
Okay, that's really interesting. I like that. So, were there any specific stories you can think of?
There was one that I really loved as a kid, which was Rikki Tikki Tavi.
I don't know that one.
It's a story about a mongoose and some snakes.
Oh, okay.
And you know, the long story short is that the mongoose, you know, saves like this little boy from all these snakes, and you know, it sounds really silly, but I just loved it as a kid. It was great.
Okay. What sort of moral did that teach? If there was one.
Yeah, I think probably bravery and you know, acceptance within the family and things like that.
Anti-bullying, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
As in, like, was there any sort of message you were trying to put across with this, or was it just like, I want to write a fairy tale? I want to write about some animals.
I suppose it was kind of, the message became clearer once it was finished. I didn't really go into it with a message.
Yeah.
I think sort of in the end it became a bit about, not necessarily that people should actually follow, you know, the moral of the story or whatever, because it's a little bit of a sort of darker one, but it's a little bit about...
Not giving spoilers away.
No.
Keep going.
But, you know, sort of just themes of, you know, broken people and, you know, what you can trust and what's real and, you know, things like that.
So as far as, like, we're talking about fairy tales and children's lit, always having a moral or a coda.
Yeah.
One, but as far as that kind of structure, how much do you think you've followed that? Because I would say you have quite a lot, but you've taken a twist on it as well.
Yeah, I think for a little while there, it almost seemed like the moral was not what it was. It kind of changed a little bit at the end and subverted that a little bit. What you maybe expected your
This
typical,
may sound very vague, but once you read it,
you know, your typical happy ever after sort of story.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of, you know, swept the rug out from under you a little bit at the end there. So kind of feel like knowing the ending, you read it a little bit differently the second
Definitely,
time.
definitely.
Yeah.
Kind of want to scream at characters, but no, don't do it.
A little bit. Yeah. No,
Yeah, it's kind of like a horror movie. No, don't go into that. How long did it take you to write that?
I actually wrote that as part of a sequence of 4 short stories.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Which I did sort of this past year. The entire thing probably took a few months, but that was the first story that I did, which probably took a couple of weeks to get it mostly done. Obviously, there was some editing down the line.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks for that one. This one was a little bit different. I felt that I started the story and then I kind of felt like I needed to know where it was going. And so I actually wrote a little bit further into the story then kind of backtracked a little bit, and obviously there was a lot of editing going on there because of course, you know, things don't always mesh, sometimes it seems clunky, but I just kind of needed to know where it was going to go, and it did change quite a few times.
Okay.
But it kind of got the ball rolling a little bit more.
Cool. Okay. It was a first draft, but it was edited heavily.
Yes.
Is that okay? Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, because being a story that has to have a message, you do kind of need to know what the message is. Whereas a lot of the other time, you know, if I write, I'll just, you know, do it sort of in one go, or you know, you do it sort of in the right order.
Yeah, right.
And it just goes where it goes, you know. But it was a little bit different.
That's really cool. So I found the characters to have really like human-like traits, even though of course they're animals. But could you provide some insight into the fox and the raven with human traits? So like, is there anyone that, not naming names, is there anyone that you know that kind of inspired that, or characters? Or?
I think with any characters, you know, whether they be, you know, aliens or robots or animals, they're always human in a way. I mean, that's kind of what a character is. Yeah. And you know, you read a story about robots and it's about their human emotions and things like that. So it's all about exploring the human through non-human things. Yeah. And so I think that's a lot of what it was. I think, you know, they weren't, obviously if it was a real fox and a real raven, he would have just ate him and gone on his way. So I think it was really about exploring the human traits that were in the animals.
Yeah, right.
And I think in terms of their different personalities, the raven was something that sort of came to me thinking about you know, people who may have been dealt sort of a bad hand in life and have let it consume them.
As in disabilities? Things like that?
As in disabilities or injuries, or maybe the loss of a job, maybe just their life didn't go the way they planned, things like that. And so maybe, you know, something that has consumed someone's life and has sort of left them unable to actually enjoy other things, or at least to a long extent or something like that. So that's sort of what was behind that character, and the fox was actually interesting because I remembered this old story which was The Fox and the Crow, which is a really short story. I know, it's a total rip-off, but in this
copyright.
It's literally like a 50-word story or something.
Okay. Well,
and so
I'll let you off.
So in this story, this fox comes across this female crow and basically flatters her and tricks her into dropping her food, and then he makes off with it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I thought, well, you know, you look at animal stereotypes, and the fox is always something that's, you know, sneaky and cunning, and you know, it betrays you and things like that. And I thought, well,
foxes
you know,
are kind of like that.
They are, but I thought, you know, like if these are supposed to be representing people, you know, maybe he could be the victim, or you know, maybe he's not the bad guy in the story. Yeah. And I think at the same time, though, it's a very selfish character. Yeah. Because everything he did was still with his own sort of motivations behind it.
To keep the company.
Because he didn't want to be alone anymore. Yeah. And so it was kind of still not completely, you know, he wasn't exactly
altruistic.
Exactly, yeah.
Your piece in Wordly. Would you like to know where The Fox and the Raven sits?
Sure. Definitely.
The Fox and the Raven is actually going to be the centerpiece of Wordly.
What? Seriously? How did that happen?
Well, we all sat in a room together and we're like, okay, well, what's a really standout piece she hasn't submitted before?
Oh, so chick from Geelong.
Yeah, the chick from Geelong. We've never met her, but like, seems like a cool chick. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Pretty cool. So we're going to go into the quick fire round of questions now. So when you are ready, favourite author?
Fuck. Good. Who's an author?
Pick one. You're an author.
Wait, give me 10 seconds. Jeff Lindsay.
Okay, cool. Favourite book?
Right now I'm reading one of the Dexter series by Jeff Lindsay.
Great, okay, continuity. If you had to pick a fox or a raven as a pet, which would it be? And
Fox.
Fox.
They're gorgeous and they're fluffy.
Easy, okay, that's it. I'm going to show you what your piece is going to look like in Wordly. So far we've only got the digital copy, of course, as we are sending it off to the printers. So, even if you don't like it, just look really impressed. And this is a 2-page spread, by the way.
Oh wow.
Ta-da!
Oh my god, I love the photo!
So cute! You've got a little fox there.
I love it!
That can be your fox too.
I love that fox. That can be my pet fox.
I know. I mean, it's better than a Word document, hey?
No, it's really good.
So, like I've said, Wordly's edition of Harmony will be launched at a bar or pub around early March, mid-March. Keep updated on the Wordly Facebook page and we can get you some more details there. This interview's been by myself, Tara, because I'm amazing, and with the lovely Emily Murphy about her piece, The Fox and the Raven. So thank you for coming along all the way from Geelong to the Hollywood campus.
Thanks for having me.
That's okay, anytime. Bye.